Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kits and hang out and chat with you and just whatevs. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Harold, thank you for hosting, as always, my friend. If you're a subscriber, throw those emotes in the chat. If you're not a subscriber, you can just throw another thing in there. We are going to hang out here in the pre-show, the pre-show zone, the holiday zone, as it is. For at least another week. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. Wait to see if you folks want to join us. Monday has been pretty good for us lately as far as audience attendance goes. Viewership, I should say, not audience, but it has been. I'll admit it. It was light. Last week was really light on the 3 streams I did. The 3 build streams. The gaming stream was about average. Now, was that because I streamed early on Thursday and even earlier on Saturday? Probably had something to do with it. I will be streaming my normal times tonight and Thursday and Saturday, and we'll be able to go back to the 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern stream time for the next 2 streams. And then next week, I don't know. I don't know what next week is going to look like. I know that I will be in South Carolina. I have just been informed that my mom just bought a new modem because the modem they got from the cable company was apparently not working right, and they didn't have internet today. They got a new modem. So my hope is that I will stream next week, but I don't know if I'll be able to. So I'm going to stream tonight, normal time. Wednesday at 7 p.m., I'm going to do a Jackbox Party Pack stream with chat. Thursday, I am going to do my normal stream. Saturday, normal stream. Sunday, fly to South Carolina, see my folks. So then I don't know. And then the 28th, I'm flying back. But the 28th, I'm flying back, which is a Saturday. I'm not landing until 7, so I'm not going to stream Saturday night. But I know I'll stream the 29th and the 30th and probably the 31st. So that's Sunday, I know I'll stream. It might be like a gaming stream or a build stream, depending on if I've been able to build. I'm not sure. Crazy Lake Fox, hello there. Welcome. It's been a little while. Happy to have you here, Crazy Lake Fox. Welcome to the stream. This is the pre-show, as I mentioned. We're getting ready to do some actual building, but we're just doing the hangout and chat portion. But yeah, so when I get to South Carolina, I will do a test stream. I am bringing with me a Lego set. Lord Crashton, hello. It is a 400-piece set. Usually I bring like a 100 or 200-piece set with me. I'm bringing a 400-piece set because my hope is to get 2 builds out of that kit. And even if it's like an hour and a half, the second one or whatever, my goal is to do 2 streams with 1 kit and get a Monday and a Thursday stream that next week. I don't know if I will. I don't know what my actual streaming is going to be like. I don't know what the times are going to be like. I don't know what things are planned. Like, so the hope is that on the 23rd and the 26th of next week, I'll stream. But I don't know. I know I won't do the 28th, but I'll do a build stream on the 29th if it looks like we don't have, if I don't get any streams in, because I want to do something. Ultron just subscribed for 13 months. Ultron, thank you so much for that. I will, and yes, because Ultron subscribed, folks get some emotes. That is a thing that happens this holiday season. Harold's here. Hi, Harold. Ultron throwing the Bear Cave and Lego emote in here as a thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that very much. Also, thanks for sending those kits. They arrived separately, and I received both of them. And I will be on Wednesday. I will put out because I'm going to film it after the stream's done. Oh no, so it'll go out. It'll go out tomorrow. I got to film it because I didn't get both your kits until late today. I got the second one. They arrived separately. So thank you very much, Ultron, for sending those my way. It's really rad. We got 2 high-grade kits that are fun and weird-looking mobile suits. They're not Gundams, but they're in the Gundam world. And they're weird-looking mobile suits, and they're high-grade. So this should be fairly simple builds, but should look really cool. But those will take a little while to get to because we're working on a master grade. We're working on the Quanta. Now, you're looking at this and you're going, Pat, that says Quan in parentheses T. Why is it Quanta? I don't know enough about 00 to answer that question. We'll go to the overhead in a moment. Here's what I know about the Quanta. It was originally a 2010 release of a master grade. Last year, let's go to the overhead so you can see the image. We'll adjust that. Last year, they put out the full Saber, which is the new backpack and all of the weapons. It is an upgrade of the kit. It is a re-release of the kit. I'm very fortunate to have gotten this. Lashbrook says, of course, the internet decides now to mess up. Sorry to hear that, Lashbrook. I'm sorry that your internet is messed up. Hopefully it works out and you can hang and watch the streams and chill with us. I will have the VOD and I will have the YouTube version up tomorrow, of course. But yeah. I don't know enough about this kit. I know that it's got a lot of swords, and it's got shields that are swords, and the swords can be guns, and the swords can combine into other swords, and they included a stand for the big weapon, if you want to put on the big stand, but you can also just put it on its shoulders, and it's got the GN drive. Now, here's the thing about the GN drive. It comes with a stand, which is awesome, so you can display it separately. We'll just pop that out now. The thing with the GN drive is apparently, one, this stand rules. What you're supposed to do is buy a little LED adapter. You can maybe see that in there. And then plug that adapter in. And then you can just like twist and turn and it'll light up. Now, theoretically, without those little components, this should still connect together, and you should be able to have the GN drive connect without having the rest of it, the rest of the kit, the components. And yeah, and it's the idea of you just like turn and twist, and it turns on. So theoretically, I can put this together without having those components. I haven't actually tested that, so that's the first part of the build right now, is just to do that. So we'll go through the motions of it. If it doesn't all connect together without it, then that's fine. I don't need it. Now, the GN drive you can have separately in this little storage thing. You can also attach it to the back, which is the purpose of it. The number one thing I've heard about this kit is, so most of this kit is 2011 or 2010, and then it was upgraded, last year with the bonus parts. So I've heard that a lot of these pieces here aren't great on their trees, and you get a lot of that like bending, like plastic, like white part there in the parts where you're trimming the pieces and cutting the pieces. So it's good to be careful of that if it's a thicker piece of the plastic. Like the ball joint here, you might end up seeing a little bit of white if I go and snap that. Whereas I had God hands, the real incredible snipper clips, maybe that wouldn't happen. Not currently in possession of God hands, so I can't take care of that. There's a lot of see-through green plastic here, which rules. There are stickers. The stickers look really nice. I'm excited to put these on here, especially the 000 sticker that goes on the chest piece. This kit looks rad as far as I'm concerned, and I'm happy to build it. Now, there has been some question I have yet to get confirmation on this. The note attached to this kit, when it was purchased on my wish list, said, build this in my honor. Build this big boy, beautiful boy in my honor, Justin McElroy. Is it possible that Justin McElroy bought me this kit? Yes. Is it possible that someone else bought me this kit, and because you can write whatever you want on the gift note, just decided they were going to say they were Justin McElroy? That's also totally possible. Both those things are possible. Now, what are the evidence? Well, one of the evidences is that I do know Justin, not super well, but I do know Justin. We met when I audio recorded a live episode of My Brother and Me in Brooklyn. Lashbrook used 100 of that to say, I was told I sound like Justin McElroy. Harold, I would say a little bit. Yes, Lashbrook, we behold your important message. Yes, so apparently you can now earn, because I'm an affiliate, you can now earn channel points. And I guess if chat was busy, that would be important. I also believe that with channel points, if you are not currently a subscriber, you can, for a limited time, get access to subscriber emotes. I haven't investigated fully. I haven't set any of them to do anything. I need to do that. I haven't. But I felt like channel points probably weren't going to be a big deal with my current subscription base. But maybe they will be. Sorry, I have to put a sticker on this. And I got to figure out what sticker it is. It's a sticker. Okay, so it was actually in Manhattan. That's right. So years and years ago, the McElroys, when they were doing all their tour work on their own, when they didn't have a booking agent and they weren't part of a group, points are pretty cool. I do enjoy them. So they had booked themselves at a small theater, and they booked 3 shows at a small theater. Well, that small theater had terrible audio, and they had bad tech people. And I reached out to them, but I didn't know them at the time, to be like, hey, just so you know, this audio isn't going to be good. And it turned out to be good. So I said, hey, the next time you are in New York, I will audio record your podcast. I'll bring my gear. You know, no matter what venue you're in, I'll make sure things sound good. And so I did the next time. They were at what was called then, I believe it's for sale, I don't believe it's been bought yet, the PlayStation Theater, which is in the Times Square area. So they showed up there, and I recorded it. So I've met Justin through that, and we have plenty of mutuals and all that. And I did put out hey, one way to support me while I'm looking for work is to buy a model kit. And several games journalists retweeted that, which is very, very kind of them. So it's possible that Justin saw that and was like, oh, Pat, I know Pat. I will buy this kit for him. As I said, I have not been confirmed. It is so. It is either Justin McElroy or someone who thought it would be funny to say they were Justin McElroy. Either way, I've got this beautiful kit to build. It's a very fine master grade that I am happy to put together. As I said, I do not know if it was Justin or not. But it was someone that said they were Justin. I guess that's a good point to put out. If you are going to buy something on my wish list, please also say who you are. That's fun. I like that. Sometimes you can't do that, it seems like. Especially if you buy things that aren't available on Amazon Prime. Alright, so the big thing I'm learning about is without having the LED things inside, this part of the drive likes to pop out because there's nothing behind it. But the other part of the drive seems good, and that sticker is nice. So this could be yours, theater. Yeah. I believe the PlayStation Theater is for sale, but I don't know if anyone's bought it yet. So as far as I know, it's still just the PlayStation Theater. But yeah, basically the idea of this is that you can turn it, and the LEDs will power it, and this will glow. Of course, we don't have those, so we will instead just put it in the GN Drive stand for now. That's the stand that it comes with, which is a pretty cool stand. It's weird that it's all one piece. Of course, also you can't see it in this shot, which is weird. But in this shot, very shiny. It's going to look good in photos. Okay, so we built that. Now let's start working on the chest unit. That's fun. I hear the Xbox Theater has backwards compatibility. Yeah, you can watch old shows in the Xbox Theater. That was a fun show because so I was recording the audio and I went to go set something and then I just hear Pat, and I look out and in the audience is Vinny Caravel. Vinny Caravel like went to go see the podcast taping, and it was very fun. It came down and said hi, and it was like, "What are you doing here?" And it was very funny because so this was years ago, quite a few years ago, because Vinny still lived in San Francisco at the time. I had the pleasure of visiting the Giant Bomb offices and saying hi to the crew. Of course, as I said, Vinny was still in San Francisco at the time. There was no office in New York because he had moved out to New York. So I went and visited them, and we went out to lunch, and Drew was still there, and it was a smaller crew, and it was nice to go talk to them. But Vinny and I talked a lot about comedy stuff and New York stuff because Vinny's wife, sister, for a very long time, was the roommate of a friend of mine in the comedy world who was, and still is, in charge of the classes at UCB. So a coworker of mine and friend of mine. Because the world is very small. They were roommates for a really long time. And it's just such a small, weird thing where it's just like, hey, do you know this guy? And it's like, yes, I know that guy very well. Why do you know that guy? Because the world is very small and weird. Okay, so fit the part as tightly as possible. But yeah, it was funny running into Vinny at that show. Don't see him enough, as he is now part of the No Pax crew. What I should clarify there is, I do not know the status of anyone at Giant Bomb and their continued traveling to conventions like PAX. I cannot claim to have any information about that, if they're going to continue, if they are done doing conventions, if the older crew, is done doing it. I did at one point, did spend a little time attempting via text to convince Brad to go to a PAX last year, because I was like, Brad, you gotta make it to a PAX, man. You gotta go. The people want it. The people are demanding Brad Shoemaker. I was like, I'll make a fun panel. I'll make something fun for you. We'll make it work. Or no panels, meetups, whatever. We'll make it happen. Whatever you need. The people want to see Brad Shoemaker. It didn't work out, but I have tried to get Brad back at a PAX. And for the Abby Jan panel was a fun show, but it was not the norm for future PAXs. Yeah, I don't know. I have not reached out to anyone for PAX East. I have not reached out to any members of Giant Bomb. I'm going to reach out. It's the holiday stuff, so I didn't want to do it, but I am going to, I know that PAX East, Vinny, oftentimes around PAXs is when Vinny can take time to be with his family. I don't know if that is going to include February, because February does change things for some people. I know that Abby enjoys it. I know that Ben does like going, and I think we'll see Ben at another show. I know Ben had reasons, of course, reasons, but I'm hoping to see Ben at a future show. I think we will. Big E Smalls, indeed. Sad Brad doesn't really want to go to PAX anymore, but I'm happy he gets a bit of Hermit. Yeah. So, like, yeah, Brad doesn't like performing in front of a live audience. The podcasts, and especially the live, and the videos, those numbers, you don't have to look at the numbers. The viewers, the live, whatever, the chat, you can just ignore that and just do your job. And in fact, especially the particular stuff that they do, it's required to just like focus up. But you can't not notice a lot of people in a panel room. So I know that has been the fact that I got Brad to do a 404ing it is incredible. I booked it to be people that he would want to spend time with and would have a good time with, but also, yeah. Lashbrook, I bet it's not done, but just in the same way that Unplugged came in very hot, I feel like PAX South will probably also come in pretty hot, and PAX East is going to come in very hot as well. It's going to be my guess, because they are all very close to one another, and it feels like people are spread pretty thin. The time between South and East is so small, and like basically to go by their normal times, they had to lock panel submissions. Like they lock the date you can submit, but they lock the date you can edit, like way earlier than normal. But like it makes sense for what they're doing. So like I think that everything is subject to change, but I could see that coming in and being different. But I'm like, oh yeah, I mean it's not that far away. PAX East isn't that far away. PAX South certainly isn't far away. It's just that they are. It's just people I think are still deciding if they're going to these events. Yeah, because there's a thing of like, I know a few people that are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go to East or not. I'm like, well, decide. Like, I do have the benefit of being able to be like, hey, I got some people that would be good for this panel. They've agreed to do it. I did get one person that said yes, and then immediately was like, actually, no, I'm not going to go. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, at least you got back to me at a reasonable time, so I know. Harold's birthday party, indeed, H-Bomb's birthday party. It's going to be a fun one. I mean, it's no one wishes that it was the weekend it is. Also, it doesn't affect a lot of people, but it does affect some people. The last weekend of February, which also includes the first day of March, is also the same weekend as C2E2 in Chicago, which is a general Chicago like Comic-Con style show. And there are definitely some people who want to be at both, and so they might not do the full PAX. So that should be interesting to see. If some people are like Thursday, Friday only, or Saturday, Sunday only. I'll have to see. Kind of feels like that we've hit critical mass of conventions. Yeah, I mean, wipe away that with debt. I mean, like, there are options, and also like, I've always said this. I really want to go to Crunchyroll Con one year. I know a lot of people there. I would have a good time there. I think I would be able to do some fun stuff there. But it is the same weekend of PAX West, which makes more sense for me to be at PAX West. I wish they weren't always the same weekend. I've never been to Dragon Con. Someday I'd love to go to Dragon Con. Even, like I don't know if I would be able to do anything cool there, but I still would like to see that convention. But can't do that because the same weekend as PAX West. And there's a lot of conventions. I'm trying to fill my calendar up next year. I'm trying to perform locally. H conference, yeah. Um, like the there's a lot of stuff out there and a lot of options out there, and then there's also you know, uh, it seems very clear to me that um, media sites are not allocating budget for travel for conventions anymore. They did it, and it feels like they aren't doing it anymore. Um, it seems like maybe it'll be for like a day or an overnight, right? So that will the most. So like if you somebody from one of these sites, that's that, and or because budgets are rough and people need to see things and see people, and I totally get it. It's a bummer because I want to. I want those people to be at conventions so I can hang out with them and do things with them and have them on my panels and all that. But I also totally understand if it's just like not going to happen. I get it. I'm working on the arm pieces here. Trying to make sure I do this right. Seems to be right, but I don't want to mess this up. Of course, I'll do one of these and then I'll do the other one. So if I screw this up, I'll notice pretty fast. But I've done similar shoulder pieces before, so I should be all right here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, the hope is that people get to go and do shows, and the audience is there. It's just about getting the funds together. And then it's a cascading effect, right? Like, PAX. I honestly think that PAX West, a lot of the people that I would have loved to see at PAX West weren't at PAX West because Jeff had a baby. Gerstmann was going to be out and told people, like I knew, hey, I'm not going to be at PAX West. Like I knew months ahead of time. So I think people were like, okay, this is the PAX where this is the one to take off because it's the one Jeff's not going to. And then Drake, left Sony, so Drake skipped it and was like, yeah, that makes sense. He didn't need to be there for that, for his job, and less people he knew were going there. And so suddenly it starts like making sense as the one that you can skip if you want to skip a show. This is the one to do. Because, everyone's getting older. For me, it is a chance to perform in front of a large audience of people who are excited. I know that the community that I have built is bigger at PAX than it is on the internet, which should be the opposite. It should be like a portion of my audience goes to PAX. But really what it is there are people who look forward to the panels I do at PAX that don't engage with the other things I do. And hopefully they will more of them will, because that would be good for me. And for them, too, because they would have more stuff that they like and they can do. But really what it is there's like people who look for the things I do on the calendar and show up to them, which is rad. And I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, like, I know people that miss 404ing it. I'm not going to be giving them a 404ing it for a while because I don't really love the internet right now. So I don't feel like doing a show about how great it is or the best parts of it. Also, it's hard to do a panel that involves homework. So, even though I did submit a panel to PAX East that it does involve homework, theoretically. But nobody has to. 404ing a panel not found, indeed. Someday I'll do it again. I had fun with the last one I did, but it's hard. It's a hard show. And, yeah, I'm just not quite, like, I'll get back into the mood to do it again at some point, I'm sure. But right now, I'm just not super into that show. But Improvised Postmortem, even if my views on YouTube aren't that great for this past one I did at Unplugged, it is one of the best shows I've done and now I have more people that are like, hey, I will always do this show. Just let me know, which is like really fun. And now I'm theoretically going to be able to expose other people to the stuff I do, and that would be rad. And I'm hopeful for that. So I don't know. It's right now, like East is a no-brainer. I'm gonna do East. If I do, I think I'll, East. Like I said, that's a no-brainer. West is a thing that I most likely will do. I don't know why I wouldn't. And South I'm not doing, but I will someday. And Unplugged, like I'll probably do what I did again in 2020. I'll go for a day. That's the goal. Those panels are fantastic, so that's good to hear. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do enjoy. Sorry, I do enjoy doing them, and I want to continue to do them. So, and I have my new panel, which I mentioned. So I'll do Everybody's Postmortem, and then the new panel is going to be. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be accepted or not. I'm trying to lock in a very big name, which will allow me to definitely be able to do it. But the hope is that Pat Baer's Anime Club, yelling about the shows we like, will get accepted to PAX East, because I think that people will like it. I think that people will enjoy an hour of fun people like yelling and demanding that the audience watch these shows that they enjoy. I think that'll be fun. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if that panel's going to get in, but I think it's a good one. I jokingly said at PAX Unplugged at the improvised postmortem panel, that I'll do it anyway, even though I'm not going to pay it all. I'll find a PA and room, and just do it, which I thought was a fun gag. I don't think I would actually do that, but I could just get some space and just do that panel on my own. I think that'd be very funny. Lord Creston says, any tips for a recent convert to Twitch affiliate status on my streaming channel, as far as getting everything up to snuff, like emotes and all that are new to worry about? So, Lord Crashington, one, congratulations. As a Twitch affiliate, you get some cool shit. You get some tools. You can use bots easier, and look into Nightbot and kind of auto mod and that kind of stuff. Do your research on that. I would say, as far as emotes go, there are, you can search for free emote packs, like on subreddits and stuff, people that make things like that. I paid for mine. I had Alexandra. I commissioned her to do mine because I knew that she knew the proper scales for the art, so that it would all work out. And I'm sure there are people that would do that, for cheaper. I still only made the one. Yeah. So what I ended up doing was I started with the one, right? And then somebody became a tier 2. And I was like, well, if I have a tier 2, then they should have their own emote. And then they opened up the option to have more, depending on how many subscribers you have, having more than one emote. So I was like, well, I'll get a third one. Because I like the idea that only my tier 2 subscribers, of which there are only 2, can use, and myself can use the Scythe emote. I like that idea. I think it's fun. It's not taking anything away from anyone's enjoyment. It's just a little extra thing. If people were really bummed about it, I would probably open it up. The thing with being an affiliate is really just like, my number one thing is be okay with treating those things like a job. Saying, hey, make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you are, if you use Twitch Prime, you got to make sure you manually renew it because it doesn't auto renew. Hey, if you're renewing, make sure you hit that notification so we can all see it and we can all thank you. And you have to say that all the time, especially now things have evened out. But when you become an affiliate, theoretically, you will get subscriptions in batches because now people can subscribe to you. So they will subscribe to you seemingly all at once. Now, that's evened out over time as people have come and gone. People have missed their renewal with Twitch Prime and all that. But there was a period there where on like the 14th or 17th, something like that, all of a sudden my numbers would go from like 20 to 10. Like half of my subscribers, because they have to manually renew it, so my numbers would drop. And then eventually that changes. And also, I should say that when it comes to like this, everybody should be aware. I am an atypical Twitch streamer. I am an atypical affiliate. One, I became an affiliate very quickly. The program was new, but I became an affiliate very fast because my numbers were consistent for a very long time. Now, my numbers were consistent because I came into this with, and I don't want to say it a fan base, but with people who knew who I was, with the knowledge of who I was and an interest in what I was doing. My Twitter audience, I got retweets when I first started streaming from known people who were great, who were being very supportive, which was really nice. And then also, I was doing something that a lot of people who know me on the internet didn't know was a thing you could watch on Twitch. Some of them came in because they like me and they wanted to see me do stuff and they just wanted to support, which I really appreciate. But a lot of folks I know came in because they were like, oh, I didn't know there were model kit builders on Twitch. Because Twitch for a long time was really pushing gamers only. And they were like trying to steer away from what now they really want, which is variety streamers. And they want IRL streamers. They want streamers to do different things. But when they were trying to disassociate themselves from Justin TV, they really pushed away a lot of people that were trying to do talk shows and other interesting things with the format. Now, obviously, they have categories and they really want that content. So I know when I started, there were plenty of people that were like, when I first started doing 404ing it at PAX, a lot of the chat comments on the Twitch live streams were, this isn't video games. Like, because Twitch was trying to make it clear this is a place for video games. And I wasn't doing that. So, I know that I am a unique case. And also, I'll say this. My numbers are weird. I had someone reach out to me who doesn't know me and doesn't know what's going, whatever, who was like, hey, I'm confused because you'll have like 15 viewers, but you have like 40 subscribers, and that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't. The numbers should be reversed. If you go to, especially like partnered streams, big name streamers, smaller name streamers, people who have made partner, their numbers, they mostly have people that are watching for free, and not people who are subscribers. The fact that right now at this moment, we have 9 viewers, which is lower than I would like, but still okay and totally fine. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it very much. I want to always make that clear. Even if I wish there were more of you, I'm happy for folks that are here. But right now, I have 37 subscribers. And that's mostly people who are like, well, I want to support Pat. This is where I put my Twitch coin. I watch once in a while. Or I don't watch at all. I watch the VODs. Or, well, I don't want to join Patreon, so I'll just use this. It's getting late. Thoughts on Road Quest? Tonight's Road Quest. Harold's asking about Road Quest. If you haven't been watching, they put a new episode out on Mondays. I'm glad they went to this ghost town because I was afraid they were going to do the thing where they're like, this episode is about us getting to the ghost town, and the ghost town is next episode. There wasn't much there, so I'm glad they had fun along the way, because it's not like it is just an abandoned area. So Road Quest, if you don't know, some of the crew from Loading Ready Run, the streaming and video people in Canada, did a road trip series where they're like driving in Canada and exploring Canada and finding a bunch of things and seeing a bunch of things. And the thing that's most interesting to me about the series is a lot of it is them making their own fun. It is not overproduced. It is not clearly scripted. It is not like planned down to the last detail. It is an exploration with people who, some of whom have known each other for decades, and other people who are like, well, work friends and are like friendly, but not necessarily always together. And it's interesting, but like one of the things about it that is the most interesting to me is that my favorite part of this episode was when a spontaneous snowball fight erupted, which led to a snowman contest on the hood of their cars, which was just, hey, there's snow, let's pull over, because I know that my friend for many, many years hates snow, so let's pull over so I can throw snow at him, because that will be fun. That was not planned by Graham Stark. That was not an objective. That was them discovering stuff on their own. And that, to me, is the most interesting part of the show. And they end up at this, like, town. Now, the history of it is interesting. So it was a mine, a town that was built around a company in Canada that was mining for asbestos. So this town kind of opened up around it, and then when the factory closed, or when the operation ended, everyone moved out. And so there's like remnants of that town, but not a lot of remnants, because it probably wasn't like a full town. It wasn't like a mining town that had been there for a generation. It was probably just like a bunch of shacks, because there was no place near it for people to go and live and commute. They were just coming in for that. So it was kind of interesting in that way. All right, so we need E38, I-21. So that stuff was interesting. But yeah, most of it is the found fun that these folks are having with each other. And I do enjoy it. I would recommend Road Quest. Lord Crusher, no problem. Yeah, most of it is just like being an affiliate. Like I try my best to not make anyone feel like they have to be a subscriber, although it is helpful and the numbers going up is great. But my biggest takeaway is just that like it's going to be a while before, or you may never be, where you really have to like siphon off. Like folks that are in chat right now that aren't subscribers are just as welcome as those that aren't. And oftentimes the people who aren't subscribers are the folks that come in for a month or a couple weeks or a stream and ask a bunch of questions and ask about kits and talk to me about what's going on with them and are engaged, and then they move on. Whereas a lot of folks that have been around for a while, who I'm so grateful for, of course, they're just content to hang out and chill, and this is part of their routine, and they hang out with me and talk to me about what's going on with them, and are kind of content to just like be around, which is also totally valid and totally great. It's just like a balance. But yeah, so my last thoughts on Road Quest is Road Quest from Loading Ready Run is a good series. Comes out weekly. They premiere it. It's the only thing I watch on Premiere these days because I don't really like premieres. Speaking of subscribers, let's throw the Bear Cave emote in there because using their Twitch Prime. And some folks got some emotes. Got some holiday emotes, but welcome and thank you very much for becoming a subscriber. Hi Joza. Hi Joza. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. But yeah, the holiday season. If you gift subs or give over 300 bits and coins, or become renew your subscription or start a new sub, you get a chance to gift some people in chat some emotes, which is rad and like very cool. And they are holiday emotes, and they are, I believe, temporary, but are still neat. All right, so this sticker is weird. We got to apply the sticker because it's got bends to it. It's got some numbers on it. You can see that there, and it's going to go over a spot here, and it's meant to let the light through because theoretically, the back of the chest piece, this thing is going to go in if it was powered, the GN drive, and then the GN drive would glow, and then it would glow through this piece or through the sticker. But since we don't have the LED sold separately LED light, this sticker is important because it is showing us it is just going to be showing us the numbers through a green piece of plastic, see-through plastic. So we just have to apply this here. Okay, and then we will snap on green. Oop, that's rolling. He's got a blade. The PG XCA with the light kit looks real good. Yeah, Lashbrook. The perfect grades that have the lighting, the modern, the last couple of years, they've done a really good job with that. I think that overall Bandai, when it does lighting and LED lighting, has started to understand what to do. It's when they were using batteries and wires that it was like, this isn't great. Having to run wires in a kit always felt like a big mistake, like this was not planned properly. But now that they're doing like these LED kits with just simple devices, it actually, I think, works way better. I do know that some people have modified this kit to run lights up into the head of the Quanta, which I think is an interesting choice that I wouldn't necessarily do myself, but I do think is an interesting choice. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to show it here, but there is a sticker behind this green. You can kind of see that. Maybe the photo I take at the end of the stream, you'll see how that looks. But it goes here. But yeah, so basically, the engine piece here is going to can if we wanted to, which basically slides into this once it's all connected, and then you can twist it and it'll light up. It goes like that, basically. But we don't need that. But we will put that in there just because it does add some stability to it, which is nice. Yes, we'll just do that. Oops. Alright, so we'll just do that. Alright, let's keep working on our chest piece here. We'll take a pause for the cause, a couple minutes, talk about ways you can support the stream, do all that nonsense, and then we'll keep building. I'm going to drink a little water. Now might be a great time for you to drink some water. This chess piece is like, hey, it's been a while since we did like a pretty complex master grade like this. Is fairly modern kit. I am excited to keep working on all this, but yeah, there's a lot of pieces, a lot of components that need to go on here, so it'll take a little time. All right, so let's keep working. Oops, dropped a sheet. It's been a while since I built with Baer, but I'm building a Bandai Stormtrooper kit, and it's fun. It doesn't require a ton of extra work. Nice. Happy to hear that, Lashbrook. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much sworn off all Star Wars Bandai stuff because I just had bad experiences with it. But I do keep my ear to the ground if people are excited about a kit or had a lot of fun building it, and if I hear about that, it does pique my interest a bit. I think I mostly get my Star Wars love in these days with Lego more than with the Bandai stuff, just because of the not fun I had with the TIE Fighters. The two TIE Fighters I built were not fun to build. So, but, I'm glad you're having a good time with it. But also, yeah, that's always fun. Make sure you put some photos in the Discord if you like. You don't have to. Or you can send me, on Twitter if you want. Oh, man. Remember when I didn't have a Discord? People had to send me stuff on Twitter. I'm in a Discord. I'm in a bunch of Discords that I don't really post that often, and and ours is pretty laid back here, the Build with Baer Discord. But I do belong to a couple Discords, and one that I belong to has like a not safe for work crew. And most of the time, it's people posting art of stuff that they're into, and people talking about things. And there is this one community I belong to has a strong trans component to it. Lots of folks that are in the process of transitioning or have transitioned, and it's a great place for people to be able to talk to each other about that stuff. In this private version, so that's why I'm being very vague about it. But it was interesting today because there was discussion of Kumail Nanjiani and his the photos that he posted of his current physique in prepping for Marvel Eternals. And it was a thing where it's like Twitter has just been like, oh wow, and whatever, and various other things, and comments about comedians becoming actors and heroes and all that stuff. This community that I'm in, that is usually very horny, was mostly like, he seems dehydrated. I don't think his body is ready for is dealing well because it's only been so many months of training. Hugh Jackman used to faint on the set of X-Men movies, which is true. It was just very fun because people were just like very supportive of that. And yeah, I mean, even Kumail has been very honest, and I appreciate that honesty of like, hey, I'm doing this because a big company is paying me to do it and paying the people to make it happen. And it also sucks. Yeah, and then it's that weird thing that when because look, are there comedians who are in great shape? Yes, there are not a lot of them, but there are them. I was reminded of my friends. I have a couple friends who are play basketball and work out, and physical fitness is important to them, and it's very funny because they're like, oh, no one's losing their minds about me. Maybe I should take some photos without my shirt on. And it's like, well, okay. Carrot Top also went through a rip phase. That's totally correct, Harold. You're right. And then and then also sometimes I think about to me it was like, oh, well, I know Kumail. I've known Kumail for a long time. He's definitely not somebody that has worked out or ever been really interested in that. It's very funny to me that that is the thing that he is doing. Uh, and then I think about like my friends who are professional wrestlers and how, or independent wrestlers, and how their bodies are incredibly ridiculous, and I cannot understand it, and how it's like they must just be like, oh, that's cute. Oh, cool, you work out, huh? Okay, great. I hope you're having fun. But mostly it's just like, yeah, that's weird. But then also like I think about it, his face definitely looks a bit different. Yeah, I mean he lost, he lost a lot of water weight and is probably eating, the diet he's eating. He's definitely, like eating more regimented and probably sleeping at earlier times because also he's not, he hasn't been doing touring the country doing stand up. Hasn't done that in a long time. So he's probably living a very different lifestyle than he was traditionally living, which all compounds to those changes. And then I just think about Emily and like the people I know that Emily has like dated in her life before Kumail and who Kumail is, and it's just very funny because I don't like because the secret, not the not so secret thing in the world of industrial music and metal and stuff like that is that like people are often surprised that Trent Reznor is jacked and he's skinny, but he's like very physically fit in a world of musicians that are generally pretty scrawny and not muscly. There are some metal people that are that, but not just in industrial music. And I wonder how she feels about that, knowing that's a dude that she always was interested in as a young person. I wonder if that has led to where that is at with her. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I'm uh yes, no, of course. Like Lord Crashing said, no, I'm very happy that he used that opportunity instead of just being like, hey, y'all are gonna see me do this thing. This is what's up. Also, hey, when comedians get in shape, it's often when they're transitioning out of being comedians into being just actors, and it's often when they kind of change as people, and maybe he is aware of that. Uh, that's like, oh, am I becoming a movie star or a movie actor, or am I just doing a cool weird thing that is cool and weird, but I am self-aware about it? Uh, so I don't know, but good for him. Happy for him. I hope that I do appreciate that Emily said like I'm very proud of him and all the work he's done, and I'm glad he's acknowledged people. But also, we spent all weekend playing Borderlands 3, so Kumail is still Kumail, and I was like, that sounds about right. Good for you. The Chris Pratt dilemma. Yes, Lashbrook, that is certainly part of it. Chris Pratt would have changed people's opinions about him on his own anyway, but it didn't help that he suddenly became went through a transformation as well. Uh, Generally, comedians who are heavy set are often very paranoid that being that people only see them as funny because of their physicality. And a lot of comedians who are heavier set worry about that. Uh, am I the funny fat guy or am I the funny guy? And that's a weird thing. In the same way that we we as a society, particularly as American society, really love it when our comedians, our comedians who identify as female, are hot. Oh boy, do we love it! And oh boy, is it weird to sub. Good night, everybody. Have a great stream. Thank you, Harold. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting, of course, and hosting as always. I will see you soon, my friend. Have a good one. But yeah, I mean, there's that always thing that's like, well, when are you gonna have your sexy Vanity Fair thing, like comedian? When are you gonna be taken less seriously? Which is a fucking bummer, especially since there are plenty of comedians that are just they are attractive, and they deal with that a lot, you know. Deal with that kind of stuff. Right, and let's put this on here. Okay. I don't know. It's gonna go here. All right. So this, I guess, will move around. This can move around some if you want to get access to the. Okay, that moves up and around like that, so that if you wanted to, you could get at the cockpit. That's what this is meant for. But we probably won't worry about that. Because why would we? Anyway, it's time for a pause for the cause. We'll get back to the building in just a moment or two. I do want to take a couple minutes just to say thank you very much for watching. This is the break. We are going to 11 p.m. Eastern time, so we got another 15 minutes or so. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote, whatever you'd like in the chat. Let the people know that you're a subscriber. Thank you very much for being a subscriber. It is very helpful. So channel points, I guess, are live. I'm going to go and check that out soon, and I'll know more about that. But yeah, bits and coins, always appreciated. Being a subscriber on here is great. I'm going to quickly go through ways you can support the stream. If that's something you'd like to do, you are under no obligation to do so. Just watching is great. Chatting is great. Also, as I say, I try to make this clear. You don't have to chat. It's nice if you do. It allows me, to have conversation to keep going, so I'm not like talking into the void. But it's also something that you don't have to worry about it. You could join my Patreon if you wanted to. You don't have to. It is a great way to support the stream. It's another way. You get videos early. This weekend, I'm going to shoot and put up a Q&A video that I do monthly that is exclusive only to my Patreon. The $1, $5, or $3 that no one uses anyway. It doesn't matter. $5 and $10 subscriptions are different layers. They'll vote on soon on what kit I build after this one, because I have a couple that came in from Ultron, and my $10 patrons will get to decide that. Which is a fun way to support the stream. This will all be in the show description of the YouTube video as well. I have ways you can donate if you'd like. Anything I make through Patreon, through Twitch, through my donations that are here when it's during the stream. If I get a donation during the stream, that goes to buying model kits to build on stream. Kits and equipment. That is what this money goes toward. I've been good on equipment for a while. I don't see the need for anything new there. Eventually, I'd like a new chair. This chair is fine, but eventually I'd like a new one. But other than that, everything's real good. Computer's running great. This is running great. Y'all are running great. That doesn't make sense. But speaking of my wish list and how Ultron bought 2 things off there, I have an Amazon wish list, and you could buy something off that, and then I'll build it on stream. That's how that wish list works. I'll mention a couple things that are in there. We'll get back to building in just a minute or two, but I want to take a second there. I've got the Death Army kit from G Gundam. It's got that rifle that's also a club. That doesn't make sense, but it's fun. Did somebody... I have a GARP ship. Which would be fun. A few things here. It looks like the 1/100 kit, the high grade 144 kit, I should say, of the Gundam Justice Knight is now available for Amazon Prime and is on sale. I've got some actual glue kits from Initial D. They are cars. I will have to use liquid cement to build them. We've done it once. I would like to do more of it. That's available. Different prices, different things, Lego sets, model kits. Uh, you can buy something on there. It comes in the mail to me, like this kit, which may or may not have been bought by Justin McElroy. Um, yeah, and then when it arrives, I'll build it on stream. We've got the Loto twin and the Zogok that have arrived. Those will be built in the future. A few other things that I have waiting in the wings as well. But it's always nice to have stuff for my wish list here because it means that I have things to build. So you could do that if you like to. You could buy something. You could buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store, and then I'll pick up something from there. That is another way to support the stream. Is USA Gundam Store. That's just another way to support if that's something you like to do. And what else do I got? I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. If that's something you want to do. Discord's great. I post photos of my builds. People post photos of things they're working on or promote themselves. There's a place to promote so like-minded friends can check out what you're doing on the internet, which is fun. And then, so this is not a Nightbot command. Background and characters that I put up last week is good. It's a holiday one. I've got another one that's coming up this week that's also holiday, leading into Christmas. Background and Characters is a fun series that I do. You might enjoy that. And then, I just posted it today. Pat Bear's Anime Club, Episode 6. It's Christmas themed. I talk about my favorite Christmas anime episodes, and I talk about a Christmas episode that is not my favorite, but it was worth mentioning, which is the Pokemon Christmas episode where Santa is real, and Santa has a Pokemon, and that Pokemon is a problem. It's not a good Pokemon. They made a bad choice. And the original that eventually was edited, but the original version is bad. And I talk about it a little bit without showing any photos or anything. But I mostly talk about the anime episodes that are great. Of course, I talk about Laid Back Camp because Laid Back Camp builds to it. Because that's the thing. There's a lot of anime episodes, and we're going to talk about anime now in a second. We'll talk about a couple shows. There's a lot of anime out there that has Christmas episodes that are just like, hey, let's take a break from our big plot, or this show doesn't have a plot because it's a whatever the show is. It is light on plot. I'm drinking a little water here. But there are some shows that are very much interested in following the plot and making it about Christmas. In Laid Back Camp, the whole thing of the series is it is different girls who have different ways they enjoy camping coming together. The big thing is that by the end of the show, the 5 girls and their teacher advisor for their club are gonna camp together. They're gonna go on a camping adventure together, all of them together. And it ends up being Christmas camping. So Christmas is part of it. It just heightens the whole thing. The idea it's the Christmas season, it's the end of the year. They're going to celebrate together. They're going to be together, and it's going to be this fun thing. And it's important. Christmas is important for the show. And that is, those are the kind of Christmas episodes that I like. So I talk about that in that. It's nice to watch those this time of year because a lot of shows, they come out in February and March and April. And they have their Christmas episode, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll go along with that. This is where you are in the year of the anime. I guess that's cool, but it's weird because it's not Christmas right now. So it's fun to watch those episodes, in the right time. Speaking of watching episodes in the right time, one thing that didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life has never really had was a cliffhanger that I cared about. It's had cliffhangers a little bit here and there, but nothing that I ever really cared about. Like a character at one point disappeared at the end, and they were like, "Where'd Paulina go? What's happening?" But like, I wasn't like, "Oh, I can't wait for next week," because I don't know what's going to happen. This episode 11, because there's going to be 12 episodes of average. They're fighting. They found something that they're gonna have to work really hard to beat, and they probably won't be able to beat it. Mile got trounced, and I assume that she'll be okay, but I don't know, and I don't know how it's gonna work out, or if all of them are gonna be okay. I don't know. They ran into a thing that she can't one shot, and it's a show that's been pretty light. So there have been heavier aspects to it, but this is a pretty heavy aspect. It will be interesting to see what they do with it. I'm like wondering how it's going to wrap up, which I haven't put a lot of like heavy thought into the series as far as like, oh, what's going to happen. It's mostly just been like, this is the fun isekai. This one's not that exploitative. This one isn't a fucking bummer. So I'm much more into it than the other isekai that are out this season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the show wrapping up. Like I'm ready to be done with it, and I'm ready to know like what happens at the end. See, 34 and 35, 34 and 35. Okay. I am not caught up on One Piece. I think I'm gonna wait until these shows are done and then kind of watch a bunch of One Piece in a row. Mostly because I kind of know what the next few episodes are, and I might want to fast forward through them. Kaido is I don't know. There's something like, I know that this is a tough battle, but right now it doesn't feel like a battle that anyone can win. Like, I don't expect Luffy to be able to defeat Kaido, and I'm like kind of not here for that. So no reviews of One Piece. I am 2 episodes behind on One Piece. I will, like as I said, probably get caught up because I will have lots of time next week when I am in South Carolina to just get caught up on anime. Because also, a thing that's going to happen next week is, and you should all be aware of this, right? One of the reasons why I definitely would like to stream is people aren't in their offices. They aren't making YouTube content as much. There are going to be less things to watch for people in their normal work week as people kind of get out of there. You know, some of you will pre-tape things, but, you know, I get a lot of content. Wrestling will kind of wrap up a bit. Now, there's no off season per se, but wrestling coverage that I pay attention to will slow down pretty significantly as people like want to be with their families and all that. So I will have some time to get caught up on anime. Also, because like some shows will be wrapping up, and new shows won't really start until January. So it'll be time to get caught up on some shows. I got caught up on My Hero Academia. It was a request was put in by someone that watches these YouTube videos. Bad couple weeks for podcasts. Yes, podcasts are the easiest thing to just be like, hey, we're not putting out a podcast this week. Or we're only going to put one out instead of the 3 we normally put out. Like, that's an easy thing to be like, hey, we're not doing one of these. Or we did a best of, like we did a collection of goofs. Here you go. Here's the best of. Or rerunning an old interview that we did with a little new context. Yeah. So it's a good time to get caught up on that stuff. What was I say? I had a request from someone that watches these YouTube videos that isn't here in the live, but watches the YouTube videos. So for Tom, I will say this. Right now, My Hero Academia is real good, and Tom, I hope you get caught up so that I can talk about it, because it's getting fucking emotional. And I want to talk about it, but I know that you are not caught up yet. So I am out of respect for you, not going to talk about it. It's good. I caught up on everything I missed last week, and I'm currently listening to Jeff and Alex get ejected to the worst of Spotify. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of that, so I don't know a lot of that. Um yeah, I'm not really caught up on a few things. There's a few shows that I need to get caught up on. Uh Most of the content that I watch, I'm set on. I'm a little behind on a few things. Uh, but speaking of things that I've been able to catch up on, because I just decided to take a break from One Piece as I wait to see what happens in One Piece, um, I'm now caught up on Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. Uh, oh, they archive it. Okay. Yes. I didn't know that. That makes sense, Lashbrook. So, Welcome to Demon School is a comedy that is pretty funny. The premise, I've talked about it a little bit before because I checked out a few episodes. The premise is that there is a young boy who's really nice, Iruma-kun, and he's so nice that if you ask him directly for a favor or to do something, he can't really say no. It's built into his character that he can't say no, so he just says yes. His parents are not nice, and they legitimately sell him to a demon who is a world famous, world renowned demon that just wanted to have a grandson. He kind of on a lark decided, okay, you'll be my grandson. And he's like, well, if you're my grandson, I need to send you to demon school because you need an education in being a demon. Now, of course, you can't tell anyone you're a human because you're not supposed to be here and they might eat you. So, good luck. I'll help you out along the way here and there, and no one will know your secret. And it's just a comedy. There's some good support characters that are funny and fun. It is sweet in many ways, and silly in others. I like it. It's not my favorite show. It's by no means my favorite show of the season, but there is a student council president who pretty much has figured out that he's a human, but she figures it out because she has these books that came from the Earth realm that she thinks are like full of wisdom and stories, but she can't read them because she can't read human language, in this case Japanese. But they're romance manga, and so he reads them to her, but she's so enthralled with them that she's just like, oh, well, tell me more about this. Let's keep meeting about this stuff. And maybe she has a crush on him, but she's not quite sure what that means. It is a fun show. I would recommend, hey, watch the first episode. I don't know. It might be your thing. It might not be. It might be a good anime to kind of just check out this season or the end of the season. But, I also think that you should all be catching up and be desperate to watch any and all episodes of Black Clover. And you should watch all 100 plus episodes of Black Clover. And I understand that's not going to happen. And that's fine. I do think the Black Clover fucking rules and is great. And I can't wait for tomorrow's episode. But that's okay. I understand. It's not for everybody. Some people don't like shonen. Some people do like shonen. They just do not have time for that many episodes of a shonen. To which I say, Lashman says, I haven't even bothered to watch Dr. Stone yet. Well, Dr. Stone is great and is over now. It was a double length. And so you can now binge that show because season 2 is coming out at some point, but season 1 is done. So you can now watch all of season 1 if you want. Yeah, it's pretty great. Look, as I said, the thing with Dr. Stone was they set up a world that I was really interested in, and then they took that away and then told me what the show was actually going to be. And what the show actually is good, but it wasn't what I imagined it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more exploring and less rebuilding science stuff and fun and a fun village of survivors doing their thing. The thing is, the survivors are all great and really fun, and I'm real into them. So, and like I said, I've said this before, just as I was like, I don't know if this show is for me, I don't know if I'm going to keep watching this, they introduced a cool old man. And I was like, God damn you, anime. How dare you introduce a cool old person character who is very important for the story. Uh, now I've got to give this another. Now I have to give this my full attention. So I still like it. I would say, but actually, I would say that if you like shonen, if you like action adventure, if you like a main character that is, dumb but lovable and trying really hard, and you like fun support characters, that Fire Force is really good. It's got some comedy in it. It's got really strong, fun characters. It is overall a really solid show. It has one bad part, but everything is bad and nothing is good. There's always something bad with every show. I have yet to run into a show that did not have an element that I didn't think was problematic. It's always unfortunately going to be a part of that because that's just part of life. In this case, there is a character who she's strong and got a cool ability, but has very bad luck. And her bad luck means that sometimes she ends up in accidentally awkward sexual situations. Like, well, and then my clothes came off, and I don't know why. And she's embarrassed about it. And people were like, "What?" Or I'm going to fall, but first into this character out of nowhere. I hate it. It sucks. She won a fight partially because of that pretty recently, and I was like, this part of this anime sucks. Why do they keep doing this? Stop doing this. But outside of that part that sucks, and it does indeed completely suck, but outside of that part of the anime, the fights in Fire Force are really great. The fire animation is incredible. The supporting cast is so good. There's so many good boys and good girls and good characters. There is a depth. There is a borderline yandere tsundere character that is somebody's older sister that gets introduced. That is still very fun because she doesn't really lose her tsundere. She just likes a dude. And that's fun. But yeah, a bunch of the fights in this last one were really solid and really strong. I'm really digging that show. I think it's at 21. It's going to go to 24, I believe, because they had a production delay that slowed them down, and they also took a week off because of the actual fires in Japan. That they were like, this will be good if we don't put an episode out, since we're a show about fire. But overall, it's a good show, and it's pretty fun. I will say that that Noelle from Black Clover is a tsundere character that I don't hate because they spend a lot of time with you hearing her thoughts, which contradict her trying to be cool emotions, and so I can appreciate that because I don't. And also, Reina in abilities average is tsundere, but like gets called out on it consistently all the time by everyone for being a real tsundere. trying to be the tough fire lady. But it's like, nah, you love your friends very, very much. So I don't mind that. Because, yeah. Heavy tsundere characters are not something that I'm really into. And then, of course, yandere is a no-go for me. There was some kind of weird show that people were like, trying to tell me to watch. I shouldn't say weird, but there was an anime that people were like, Pat, I think you'll really like this. It's very, like, this main character is very, like, non-traditional. And I was like, oh, you mean a mentally unstable murderer girl? Yeah, I don't want to watch that anime. Don't tell me to watch this. I don't care if it's interesting. It looks creepy as fuck. It's real weird. I don't remember the name of it. But it was real, real weird. And I'm glad I didn't watch it. So I was like, no, that's not what I want to watch. Why do you think I want to watch this? I don't mind a good fighting show, but no thanks. You know, like, people didn't tell me about Grand Belm, and I ended up watching that late on my own, and I'm really happy I watched it, because it was like magic and mechs and friendship, and some fucking sad moments, and I was happy that I checked that show out. So, as I said, I did an episode of Christmas anime stuff. My next episode, which will come out at the end of the year, in 2 weeks, so it'll be out on the, the 30th. So I have to film that soon because I will be, out of town for a while. That's going to be my anime of the year wrap up, talking about my favorite shows, which is good because I'm kind of waiting to see, like, I was hoping to wait until next Monday to, like, finish off a bunch of shows, but I'm going to have to film it ahead of time, and then I might do, like, a pop-in edit, like, hey, this is me popping in to say, yep, this happened, and just, like, non-green screen pop in. So I'm going to record most of it this weekend. But, yeah, I'm just going to talk about my favorite shows of the year. One of the great things about, I guess this is the thing I can do. Lord Crashington was able to put a Santa hat on my emote, and I didn't know you could do that. That's weird. That's a weird thing. You put a Santa hat on my emote, Lord Crashington. I didn't know that was a thing. Weird. Okay. You can mod an emote for points. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, modify a single emote. Oh. So I can put a yes. So I can do that. I can do that. Okay. That's weird. That's a weird thing. Huh. All right. Well, there you go. So one of the nice things about, having this show or the stream is that I can go through my YouTube archives and just I list all the anime that I discussed in that show, and so I could just, like, find the list of shows that I've talked about this year, and then I could just, like, I'm not going to do a top 10 anime list. I'm just going to, like, talk about a few of my favorites. I think I'm just going to do that instead. Last year I think I did a top 10 and, like, spent time on it, but oops, I don't know where that went. Did it go underneath? No. There it is. Great. Thing skittered off, but I found it. It ended up on the piece of paper that I have my mouse on, because my Amazon mouse here, my wireless mouse, doesn't like the white surface of this table. So I have to put a little piece of paper down. Fun fact. But yeah, I'm not gonna I'm just gonna list the ones I like. I'm not gonna do the top 10. But yeah, it's nice to be able to go through and see the ones that, like, stood out to me and make a video about it. So I'll just kind of go through and see the ones that stood out, and then the ones that I watched because, like, there's stuff you watch because I want to watch it, right? Like, uh, it's just on and it's there. Like, I can't even think. I'll just go back to like I'll go to YouTube and look up one that let's see here. My videos. So I've got like, yeah, I've got a lot of videos that I can look at that went up, and I can just like scroll back a couple months and see what well, I like, so I'll scroll back a few months here. We'll go to let's go to October. We'll go to an October show, and I can see that I talked about Fire Force, One Piece, and Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average? And like, that makes sense. Those are shows that I would talk about there, and I think those are great. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Those are some shows that I looked at last month. But I can go scroll back to, okay, yeah, July. See, at the end of July, I talked about Ari Fuerta, One Piece, and SD Gundam World Sengoku Soketsuden, which I stopped watching. It was coming out monthly, and they're like 15-minute episodes, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to watch this show. I don't think this show is good. So I stopped watching it. But Ari Fuerta is a show that I liked and I wish I loved. It just got worse as it went on. And then in going to a random May episode, apparently I only talked about Senryu Girl and Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket, a show that I at some point will finish. I'll go back to it. Senryu Girl fucking ruled. I love Senryu Girl. That's one of my favorite shows of the year. Definitely. Spoiler alert, that's going to end up on the list because that show was great. And I really enjoyed it. Let's see. What else I got here? March. Black Clover and Initial D. Oh, that's when I was just watching Initial D and getting caught up on Initial D. And of course watching Black Clover. That's fun. That must have been a weird time where there just wasn't a lot going on. April. Let's see what I was talking about in April. April, I was watching My Roommate is a Cat. Oh, I forgot about that show. That show was good. Black Clover, The Rising of the Shield Hero, and the Trinity 7 movie, Heaven's Library to Crimson Lord, which I had forgot existed. That certainly wouldn't make my list by any stretch of the imagination, but it is fun to be like, yeah, My Roommate is a Cat. That show, I know some people were like wanted it to go farther, wanted to see him like go on a date or like something like that. But considering that show was about a person who was like so little of a human and had so little emotions and so little connection to the outside world, like the idea of that, and of course the perspective of the cat and just the sadness of that cat's life was so strong that that was a rough show, but a good one. Warriors64 tweeted a deal about the Pokemon Center, and I had no idea I wanted a plush Corv Knight until I saw one. Heck yeah! And Ultron says, I can't remember anything about March. It feels like 10 years ago. I know. That's why I'm going to go through my Build-A-Bear, and it's going to be archives, and it's going to be really helpful to week go through and see what I was watching. That's really beneficial to be like, because the queue lies, because you jump around. Also, I've watched stuff that's on Hulu. I've watched stuff that's on Amazon. So it'll be nice to be able um, to have that all listed somewhere, so I don't have to go through all the queues back there um, to see what I was like into. Because I was like, yeah. Do I think Mob Psycho season 2? That's going to show up on my list or in my video because it's a really great season of that show. But there might be some stuff in there that I was like, oh yeah, I watched that because it was on. Uh, like I really got into Demon Slayer, but Dororo, like I fell off of and finished, but it didn't really stick with me. So I don't know if that's gonna end up on my. I'll talk about it. I'm gonna try to be positive with them. Like, look, will I mention that while it ended this year and that time I got reincarnated as slime was very good, and I'm glad that I watched it, and it's a good show that people should check out. I'm still gonna mention that the OVAs or OADs are bad, and people shouldn't watch those. They should not watch the OADs. They should just watch the show. And yes, it overstays its welcome. It probably shouldn't have been 24 episodes. It ends. It's like a one long story that was more than 13 episodes, but wasn't really 24. And so they go into a smaller extra story that is like, I know some of it pays off in the manga later, but right in the moment doesn't really. But it would be, it's still a great show. So, I can mention that. Bunch of good stuff came out this year. And plenty of ongoing stuff as well. All right. There's a lot of yellow in this. Of course, this was, this is Gundam 00, and this is like this Gundam, Quanta, really does feel like your gun, the main, like it is, but it has that vibe of like this is the main Gundam, like the amount of golds and yellowish golds, the amount of red and blue and the green accents, like this really does just like scream main character. The main character uses this, like it just has got that going for it. But I do think it's pretty cool. And the GN drive is interesting in that like so much of this is like about the ability. In the same way that like the G Gundam, the Burning Gundam, the Shining Gundam, the God Gundam are like, well, this kid is cool, but it's really about like what it ends up like building and becoming. All right, so we're gonna do some of the stickers here on our head. We won't finish the head, but we'll get some start. We'll get some of it started, is what I was trying to say with the head here. Because there are some small stickers, and we're getting towards the end of the stream, and that's where occasionally I get a little sloppy, is the end of a stream. I know myself very well. People ask every now and then, people ask like, well, would you be interested in like doing like a longer stream and maybe like, less streams a week, but longer? And the answer is, when I jumped to 2 hours, I was like, that's kind of risky because I already feel like in an hour and a half, I'm feeling a little weird for model kits. Not necessarily Lego, but model kits certainly. But now we just kind of do a little bit of a pre-show before we get into the building, and so it does help. But I do on occasion feel a little loopy towards the end of the 2 hours for building, and I don't think I could do longer than that. It would be a different format of show, probably. It might be something where, like, the first 2 hours is building, and then we play some games. Even then, I don't know. The trick is to stay hydrated. Well, yes, first off, hi, Cool Jammer. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, speaking of which, a little bit of water. It's good. The Avalanche Exia Dash. Oh, yeah. Yes, Ultron. I can't wait to see photos of that. That kit, I've seen some photos of that kit. That kit looks very good. But yeah, staying hydrated is super important. And just, also just knowing yourself, knowing the work you need to do. Okay, so we can do 2 different eyes on this kit. I think I'm going to do 16 on it instead of 17 and 18. I'm just going to do 17. I'm going to do the one that has the black border instead of just the green eyes, because I like how the black border looks. But we do have the option of we can do this piece here. The eyes that are surrounded by black, that's one piece, or we could just do the eyes, but we'll do that instead. This one I think is better. But yeah, I just found for myself that playing games and stuff, like, sometimes, doing some streams with gaming streams, I'll be like, oh wow, we're done, huh? Jackbox, stuff like that. Like, it kind of flies. Even Twitch Sings. I mean, I did the one charity stream with Twitch Sings that it was 3 hours, and that was a lot, but it was still felt doable. But the building streams, like, it's just, I feel overwhelmed sometimes doing these streams. So in that respect, I don't want to just I do want to just finish up. Oh, I put this on. See, speaking of messing up, I put my sticker on upside down. Luckily, this is fixable. But that's also a little embarrassing. I was like, why isn't this piece going together? Oh, because I have it upside down. That'll explain why it's not working right. All right. Yeah, sometimes if a piece isn't coming together right, it might be because you're putting it on wrong. It's often the reason. All right, yeah, I like those eyes. I think they'll look good. That'll look just fine. And then E34. Yeah. I'm excited for these. This kit, I'm very excited about working on. The other kits in the future will be good. I am going to, as I said, so normal streams, Thursday and Saturday, my normal stream time. Sunday morning, I wake up, go to the airport, going to go see my folks in South Carolina. I will be back the following Saturday, but too late to stream that night because I'm double checking. But yeah, I think I get off the plane at 7 o'clock. So let me just double check. Hold on, everybody, cool out. Yeah, I land at 7 o'clock, which does give me enough time. So maybe I would do a late night, but like, I don't think I'm going to stream that Saturday. The only reason I would stream that Saturday is if I didn't get to stream it all from South Carolina, and I really wanted to get a stream in. But next week is very up in the air. Now, I do have a stream this Wednesday as well. So my next actual stream is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm playing Jackbox games with chat from like 7 till like 9-ish. Normally I would do 9 p.m., but I have a thing to go to at 10, so I got to be done at a reasonable time. So I'm going to start at 7, so that way I can play Jackbox games with the chat and hang out, which will be very fun. and I'm looking forward to. Uh, and all right, let's put this last sticker on now. And yeah, so that next week, I'm still like, I'm not sure what my travel plans are going to be. As I said, I'm bringing gear. I'm going to bring my headset. I'm going to bring a webcam to South Carolina with my laptop, which of course I'll bring anyway. I'm going to attempt to stream. If I can't stream, then that Lego set that I'm bringing, I'll build when I get back. But my hope is to be able to stream a little bit, and if not, do build streams, do hangout streams as well. Do a like Christmas hangout, and then I'll be back later in the week. I am planning on doing a Christmas Eve stream that Tuesday, a game stream that Tuesday. That is the current plan. Ring in the new year, and then raid someone who is also who is on the West Coast and still celebrating, so people can continue. But that's the plan right now, is to do like 9:30 to whatever, play some games and hang out and do whatevs. That's the plan at the moment. If that changes, then of course I'll let you know. But yeah, I think that would be a fun way. Look. I'm almost 40. I'm not going to go out on New Year's. I'm just going to hang out here in my apartment. And if I'm hanging out here in my apartment, I might as well stream. But I'm going to see if other people are around and maybe do something. I don't know. I'll jump in on somebody, get some friends in to play some Jackbox with me or something. I don't know. Maybe I can get a room together for Twitch Sings and get some people to join me for that. But I don't know. I got options. Let's finish this head, and then we will wrap the stream up. But yeah, I hope you Wednesday 7:00 you can join me for that for some Jackbox Party Pack 6, which will be fun as always. And then Thursday normal stream, and then Saturday normal stream, and that'll be it. And then I will go away and try to do something from my parents. But as I said, I hope it'll work out, but I don't know if it will. Last time I tried to stream from their apartment, it did not work at all. So I ended up doing all this setup and going live, and I didn't test anything. I don't know why I didn't test anything, but I didn't test anything, and it did not work. And so I just ended up like recording locally and just put it on YouTube. And the whole video is me just being like, I'm so mad this didn't work. And it was like such a negative vibe that I was like, I definitely shouldn't do that again. If it doesn't work this time, I'll just figure something else out. But yeah, we got some work done here on our Quanta. So we'll wrap up there. Thanks, everybody. Just do a Mr. Show-esque pre-taped Twitch stream. Yes, that's a great idea. I'll just record something and then, premiere it as if I had just done one. Yes. Yeah, there's an audience there. Oh, great comments. Ooh, these are great. Hey, I'm sorry that chat isn't showing up for anyone but me, but I'm loving your comments. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to run an ad. Watch it if you can. If you can't, that's fine. But, it helps. But please join me on Wednesday at 7:00 for more whatever. And thank you for being here. Numbers have been low, but good. And y'all are great, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to watch this 60-second ad, it allows me to, make a little bit of money. Bye-bye.